All right, I got a treat for you guys today, and that is going to be me on Twitter a lot. I know, sounds really great, right? So we're going to be going through a lot of tweets today. The first one we're going to be talking about is in this video, and that is going to be Ian Garry's comments about Israel Adesanya losing the fight more than Sean Strickland winning the fight. And we're going to not only talk about that, we're going to talk about more things related to that fight and Izzy's mindset going into it, because I realized I didn't really cover that very well. Not yet anyway, but I will in this video, and that's what we're going to do. And then I'm going to go into the netherworld after this, and it is going to be rough because I last night ventured to a place that I wish I had not, and I'll tell you exactly how that went. So if you watched my video yesterday, by the way, I got a new one of these. And so what happened there is my kids took this off. They got stuff all over both sides of this thing. And I took cleaner, not having any idea how to clean this. And I went like this. And then the cleaner got attached to this. So that's what that was about. That's what happened is I'm a moron. I don't know how to clean it. My kids got it super dirty. I tried to clean it, and apparently you can't use like regular cleaner on it because it'll just like stay there forever. So thank you for everybody giving me the heads up. I didn't realize it looked so bad on the screen. Anyway, but if you watched that video, I covered a bunch of haters that were going after Sean Strickland, calling him a sexist and a racist. And it was fun. A lot of people were like, dude, you should do this more often. And so I got into the mode of looking up crazy people on Twitter, and I decided last night after Aaron Rodgers got injured, tore his Achilles tendon, I was like, I wonder what the most toxic people in the world are saying about this. You know, since Aaron Rodgers publicly did not take the shot, and these people don't forget things like that. They're like, oh, he decided to make his own medical choice about a treatment that had no long-term studies. Well, he's an enemy of the state, so he's an enemy. And so I went and looked at what they were saying, and I didn't last very long. Let's just put it like that, you know? Like, I didn't last long because I felt myself so angry that I was like, you know what? This is unhealthy. And then I decided later that it would probably make for good content if I film myself doing that. So that's exactly what I'm going to do later. And I'm going to put it in my members only because I think I'm going to say things that I would not want public. So on my main channel, members only, you can look for that. I think you have to join on your computer. If you have iOS, it doesn't show up. But if you go on your computer, and you'll see a join button next to Jesse on Fire on my main channel. You join, and then you'll be able to see all the members only stuff. I have lots and lots of videos just like that. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. Now subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet, and let's rock and roll. So Ian Garry really going for it, going for it. I don't know if his goal here is to, make friends with Izzy, or if he really believes this, or I just don't know. I don't know what Ian Garry's doing right now. Like, I'm a big fan. I'm very bullish on Ian Garry, as I've stated many times. I think he's going to be the champion at welterweight. Although, yeah, I do. I think he's going to be the champion at welterweight. I do believe that. But in terms of his, the things he's saying and things he's doing, he's 25 years old. When I was 25, I was an absolute moron. And I mean like a really big moron. I didn't realize it at the time. I thought I was the man, dude. But I was an idiot. And I might say the same thing about Ian Garry, even though I'm so bullish about his fighting. But in this case, he says, I feel Israel Adesanya lost the fight more than Sean Strickland won the fight. If you run the fight back, there's no way Sean gets his hand raised again. That's Ian Machado Garry. So here's my question to Ian Garry and anybody who is saying the thing about if Izzy gets an immediate rematch, he definitely beats Sean Strickland. Let me ask you a common sense question. Forget about the skills. Forget about all that. Okay? Did you see Israel Adesanya get broken on Saturday night or not? Did you see Izzy get broken on Saturday or not? Because I did. All you have to do is go to the end of the 5th round. Okay? Just watch the last 2 minutes of the fight. Look at Izzy. Look at Sean. Izzy is not a guy who by some fluke thing got beat. Sean broke him on Saturday. He broke him. Okay? Now, you can say that Izzy beat himself, but that's not true. That is not what happened. I'm an Izzy fan. I was 10 feet away from him when he knocked out Alex Pereira. Best moment of my entire UFC fandom career, which stretches 22 years. I am grateful to Izzy for that. Will always be grateful to Izzy. I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm just saying objectively, we all watched the fight. How could anyone have watched that fight and think to themselves, oh man, Izzy for sure just takes the rematch, man. Obviously. And you're like, what? You are still stuck in the pre-fight game where you're like, all right, here are their skill sets. It's like, okay, but yeah, now we took the two Rock'em Sock'em robots with their skill sets and we put them into the octagon and we saw what happened. The reason everyone thought that Sean Strickland was easily going to get beat is because Pereira starched him easily. Okay? Well, he learned from that, number one. And also, Pereira starching Sean Strickland is a very different thing because Pereira's skill set is different. It's like people do not think past step one. Pereira, world-class kickboxer, knocked out Sean Strickland. Israel Adesanya, world-class kickboxer, should knock out Sean Strickland. No, that's not how that works. Sean Strickland was knocked out by Alex Pereira because Alex Pereira has tremendous power. He hurt him to the body. He made him think he was going to the body, and then he came upstairs with his best punch with his left hook. Okay? Izzy couldn't hurt Sean with punches. Sean was aware of the kicks that were coming, and Izzy did not land any kicks. Okay? So, like, does Izzy have the same level of power with his left hand that Alex Pereira does? No. Not to mention that Sean learned his lesson there. Bottom line, all the feints, all the kicks, all the punches that Izzy presented did not break through Sean Strickland's defense. And the only time his defense has ever been really heavily penetrated was against Pereira. So you take that into account, and then you take into account that Izzy was broken at the end of the fight. And I don't understand how a person could say something like this. I don't understand it. You know, I'm not saying that Izzy can't win. That's not what I'm saying at all. I am absolutely not saying that. No one with two brain cells and any kind of pedigree in UFC, fandom or analysis would say that. But to say if you run that fight back, there's no way Sean gets his hand raised again, that's absurd. And he should know better than that. Ian Garry should know better than that. He's a fighter. I mean, I will say this. He's never been broke. He's never lost. Ian Garry's never lost, right? So the idea of coming back from getting broken in the ring is not something that he has experience with, right? And I think that there's a part of this for Ian Garry that has to do with his skill set much more, kind of matching Israel Adesanya's, although not really when you really think about it. But then it does Sean Strickland's, right? Like he wants to be a world-class kickboxer. He already is basically, or not basically is. And then the difference though is that he is going to Brazil and he wants to get just as good on the ground as he is on his feet. That's GSP stuff. That's why I'm so bullish on Ian Garry, is because I'm listening to the thing, like this kind of thing. He says the things about Israel Adesanya. He's definitely going to win the rematch. And that sounds stupid to me, right? That's dumb. I don't agree, right? I'm not saying Izzy can't win. I'm just saying that take is dumb, indefensible actually. But when Ian Garry talks about his own career, and he says, I don't want a title shot yet. I'm going to Brazil for the next 2 years, and I'm going to become the best fighter on the ground in MMA the same way that I am on the feet, to where I have no weaknesses, none. I'm better than you on the feet. I'm better than you on the ground. No one can beat. And I go, sold. He's only 25 years old. If he focuses for 2 years on becoming the best grappler in the world, given whatever his starting point is, mixed with what he has on the feet, I believe him. Maybe not the best grappler in the world, but elite enough, like GSP. GSP was a striker. And then he started training wrestling with the Canadian Olympic team. And look at what happened. I really believe Ian Garry can be that good. Did you just say he could be as good as GSP? I think that's what I said, but let me think about that a little bit more before I just stamp my name on it. But yeah, I don't agree about this at all. Now, on the Izzy thing, okay, I want that rematch now, and I will tell you exactly why, okay? I want that rematch, and I will tell you exactly why. Actually, I'll tell you that in another video. I'm going to put this up on my second channel, and then I'm going to tell you I'm going to do another video on my second channel about exactly why I want a rematch with Izzy, because the videos on my second channel are supposed to be shorter, and we are up to 7 or 8 minutes, so it is what it is. I love you guys. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back shortly. Bye.